Another advantage of incorporated virtual reality welding blended with regular welding is that it can actually help you train for less money. To be able to do that, I think the first thing we have to understand is how to schedule the vertex. Why do I say that? Because the vertex can be leveraged. If I can properly schedule the vertex, 2 students at a time, and put more students on that throughout the day, one vertex can teach many students. And so I've got that leverage effect. So one of the things is realizing it's a computer. So if you put this into a computer room away from your weld shop, you don't have the liabilities of the metal and the electricity and those things. You may be able to train more hours in a day. And so by leveraging this, I can train more students than you can in a regular weld shop on just one machine. In the Iowa State study, one thing they looked at is the amount of time it took the students to learn to be able to pass certain welds. Then they found out on the basic welds, which was the 2F and the 1G position, they found out that the students actually spent 60% less time in the weld shop in virtual reality and still got those scores that were 40% higher. So you can train faster and get better scores. And so if you're in the weld shop 60% less time, then you have the opportunity to save 60% on your materials, 60% in your gas shielding if you're doing gas shielded processes, you have less electricity for your fume removal, etc. And so therefore you can actually then have savings. And we give you a way to track those savings. And so we're going to look at our screen here, and we're going to come into a screen that only the instructor gets into. And so this is keyed. The instructor can come into a special screen and do certain things, such as change their tolerances or change the sound levels. But the one thing we're going to look at here is called the Weldometer. So we're going to hit the Weldometer. What the Weldometer does, it keeps track of how many minutes someone welded, but also how many coupons they used. So we can actually look on this in mild steel. I can find out how many minutes a certain student welded when they logged in. I can find out how much of mild steel, aluminum, stainless, gas. I can now know the consumption. And now I can actually drill down even further. So in the mild steel, we're going to drill down into how many pieces of each plate. So we can see that the 3/8 plate was the most popular here. And we know how many 3/8 plates we trained on and how many pipe coupons, etc. So now the welding instructor has a real good way of tracking how many coupons that they're welding in virtual reality that they didn't have to burn in the weld shop. That helps you give you a better handle on what your ROI is. So again, properly blended with regular welding, you can train for less money, and we give you a way to track that and prove your return on investment.